Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Carol Allen.
Good morning.
It's so good to have you here with me today. And I can't wait to get our audience coming in here.
Awesome to be here.
So great to see your face. I get to see you sometimes when I'm on Zoom, and that's such a treat to see you in some of the things that I do as well.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Has been. Okay, I'm trying to find this on my phone, which is always a chore. It's like, where are we? I know we're live because it's telling me that it is. And there we are.
I see Deirdre.
I see you. Deirdre is here. Good morning, Deirdre. All right, so we're live. Help us share this out, please. I'm putting it on my timeline now. And who else we got? Kalish Nayar. Good morning. And Linda Lemieux. Oh my gosh, be still my heart.
Really? You've been popping in everywhere.
Linda, do you have a new habit of getting up early? She's like I was, Carol. Just early morning? She says a new record.
Well, I was always a night owl. And then I got a job where I had to be at work at 6 a.m. So I had to get up at about 4:30, and it was like, okay, my body adjusted.
Yeah, it does. I've always been a night owl. Nighttime has been my time. And so when I had to get up early, like you said, for work, I would just drag my butt. I would hit that snooze button every day.
I get that. I see Sharon popped in.
Sharon Boyle. She says, yay, Carol.
Sharon's all over the internet now too, isn't she?
Yes, she is. Our Sharon Boyle is shining like a bright light. Yeah, it's so good to see her doing the things that she's doing.
I love listening to her sound healings.
Oh, me too. I love those singing bowls. I wish I had a full set. I've got the heart, the one that's attuned to the heart chakra, and I call that Angel Heart. And then I have what's called a Buddha bowl. It's a black, heavier bowl. And that one I named, or the group named it Angel Grace a couple of years ago. So I play that one a lot as well. So I'm still sharing here. And I'm going to see who all is on with us. All right.
Linda says that when she was teaching, she got up at 5:30 and her retirement goal was to sleep late. Oh, I'm with you, Linda.
Yeah, I know. I have a lot of friends like that. They didn't want to live by the alarm clock, once they did reach that retirement and were able to sleep in. Okay, my voice is doing something funny.
I'm able to sleep in, but that doesn't mean that I do.
Yeah, well, that's me too. I pretty much set my own hours with what I do. Wow. Okay, Carol, you might have to talk today because I don't know what this is with my throat.
I can do that.
Okay, Wendy says my previous job I used to have to get up at 3:45 a.m.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That's really early, Wendy. That's no fun at all.
Not at all.
I always wondered what it'd be like to do the night shift. I have never had a job where I had to do night shift work.
I did it. They call it the graveyard shift.
Right.
That I was on. It starts at midnight. And I did medical transcription for years and years and years. I even had my own business doing medical transcription. But I was working for one company and they needed night workers. And since I love the nighttime and I'm wide awake at night and I was struggling getting up to work early in the morning anyway, I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Yeah, and I loved it. The problem I had with it was after I got off work, then it was hard to go to sleep.
Yes.
I couldn't go right to sleep after that. Because just think about it. If you're working like a regular 9 to 5 job, which the majority of people do, you don't go to bed as soon as you get off work, right?
True.
It's like your brain doesn't just stop because the time clock said you're off the clock. So it was a real struggle to find that balance and to find some time that I could sleep. So yeah, it's Wendy says she prefers the night shifts too. Yeah. And she did the night shift from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's a long shift.
That is a long shift. Long shift. A lot of people jumping in. I see Gabby. Hi, Gabby.
Hi, Gabby. Oh my gosh. Yes.
And Cheryl Johnson. Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl and I used to work at the health department together.
Okay. Well, hi, Cheryl. I don't see you online. I see Jordan. Jordan, you were awesome. Jordan was really awesome on the show yesterday. And just before I turned on this, I saw a message on Facebook by Jordan. And Jordan, I think you have some big news if you'd like to share that with everyone. Oh, Kalish Nayar is Prachir and Prachetta. Today we were logged in from our mom's phone as both my and Prachir's phone are not working. Okay, well, it's that kind of morning, isn't it, Carol?
Yeah, it is. Technology is not cooperating.
I had to text Carol and say, guess what? I don't have any internet. I'm going to reboot. It's that kind of day.
That it is. Jordan says, oh, I do.
Oh, yay. Please share. And Sally's here. And Gabby's saying good morning to you, Carol. I don't know if you see that.
Oh. Good morning, Gabby. Oh, so Gabby has something here too. So I want to know the inspiration behind Carol Ann's creativity, because she is also producing amazing paintings.
Yes, you are.
I always painted. I was always, from a young age, I remember begging my mom to get me into art classes when I was young. I'm going to say maybe about 8 or 9. And there's a wonderful place here in Baltimore called the Maryland Institute of Art. And they had classes near our home on Saturday mornings for young people. And so I said, please let me try. Please let me try. And money was tight in our house. My mom was a single family mom. And so having money extra to pay for a class from a college, a prestigious college, was, somehow she made it work. And I did that for years and just loved drawing, painting, art. And did that throughout, I don't know, up until when I had kids, and then life just got too busy. And then after I retired, I was like, I want to paint again. And so I started again, but instead of going back to the medium that I'm very comfortable with, which is oil paint, I decided to challenge myself and do watercolors, and it's so very different. With oil painting, if you make a mistake, you just go over it. With watercolor, you got to start over. So I try to ask the angels, give me some inspiration, you take the brush. And I find the times that I really ask that, I get something beautiful. Mm-hmm. And other times when I just try to be me,
it won't be forced.
It's been fun.
That's beautiful, Carol. Thank you for sharing that. And, Jordan and I were talking yesterday about the creative process and how a lot of times it's that emotional state that you're in. You're going through something where you just want to bring out emotion. And that's kind of what you're talking about, just
I
let
was
me express through this.
Right. I was listening to Jordan yesterday, and I felt kind of kindred spirit, because I try to do the same thing. It's like if you feel it, then you paint,
Mhm.
So that's
Did you
neat.
see her painting that she did with the lady and
Yes.
oh my gosh, I love that so much. And I watched the video where she created that.
Oh, I'll have
Wow.
to look for that.
Yeah. Yeah. She started with just the sketch of the lady and then added in all the rain and the dripping colors. And it was just
Oh,
gorgeous.
it was beautiful. I just saw it and I'm like, oh, wow. It was so awesome. Jordan, you're very good.
Yes, you are so talented, Jordan. So her big news, drum roll, please. She says, I had someone contact me to do a commission painting for him and his wife to be as a gift to her.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Oh my God. That is exciting.
That is so awesome. Congratulations.
Yes. Any other good news that anybody wants to share? It's a good news morning, isn't it? We got more people coming in.
I see Stacy Small Lord just popped in.
Good morning, Stacy. And she's down here where I'm at right now, but we can't get together because I'm in quarantine. That sucks.
Yeah, you guys are really starting to shoot up. Ours have been going steadily down. I hope it stays that way.
Yeah, well, I'm in quarantine because I was just in the hospital. So.
Oh, right.
Yeah, my system is very weak right now, my immune system. So it's like contact with anybody, not going to happen. But she's about half an hour from me right now from where I live. And it's killing me because I want to see my Stacy.
I know. I hadn't seen anybody that I'd known for, a long time other than my neighbors. I talk to my neighbors. We all stand about 6 feet across the fence and whatever. And my one neighbor across the street, I've been watering her flowers. She went away to the ocean. So her and I usually get together and talk a few minutes, but basically just staying at home. I run out for the groceries and come back home.
I'm not even doing that for at least another week. I have friends that are just dropping off stuff at my door, and it's so fun because one friend dropped me off some chicken soup. It was in a bag, like a big paper grocery bag, and she had several containers of chicken soup in it that she had made, and she set it in front of my door. But the thing is, my door opens like going out. I have to push it open, go out, and she'd set that stuff right in front of the door, and I'm like, please don't fall over. Don't spill my soup everywhere.
Really? Oh, I bet it tasted good too.
I was able to spit. Oh, it tasted delicious. It was the best chicken soup I've ever had. And she said the secret ingredient was love. I love that.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's the best ingredient to add to food.
It sure is. It makes it absolutely delicious. We have Christina with us, Leftwich. Good morning. And she says, I'll be listening in the background as I drive this morning. Well, be safe there, darling, and pay attention to the road. And Gabby says, you are nailing the watercolors and that it was a beautiful story. And Carol, I didn't even realize that if you mess up doing watercolors that you can't fix your mistake.
You can't fix it. It's the water goes where it wants to go. And depending on how wet you have your paper, you get different effects. You can paint just like oils where you use a dry brush. But the real object of watercolor is to allow the paper to be wet and then let the paint go where you want it to go, but also where it wants to go. So if you have it too wet, it just might run into blobs, which sometimes is good. You start that way. You just put color on. And then you look at it after it dries and you go, okay, it's this. And then you go from there. So, but it's very different. I'm enjoying the challenge of learning. That's for sure.
Exactly. And that would be a challenge to learn all about it and how to manipulate where to put stuff so that it doesn't go into the other things like you were saying. You painted such beautiful flowers. I just love all of those paintings that you shared with us.
I've been trying with the flowers. I had painted a couple pansies early on, and some of them look good, and all the other ones I've done since have been terrible.
Oh, according to you. According to you, let us critique it.
That's true.
We're our own worst critics. We all know this. Yeah, we always want that perfection, right? And sometimes the perfection is in the flaws.
Yep.
We've got Rick and Josie are with us, and they said they're having phone issues. This is crazy this morning.
I see Catherine Kovacs in here too.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Welcome, darling. And let's see who else came.
Oh, and Charlie Coons is here.
Charlie Coons is with us. Julie Kiss is here. She said hello.
All right. And got a bunch of people popping in.
Our Carrie's on. Oh my gosh, she just brightens up the room when she comes in, doesn't she? She's a little ray of sunshine. Country sunshine at that.
Country sunshine. I love her voice.
I do too. Yes. Okay. And Prachir and Prachetta says there is no TV since this morning and no internet service.
Oh, wow.
Which Prachir and I use. Today is the 4th day. The rains have not stopped. Oh my gosh. 4 days of rain. We get that sometimes here in Florida. We have like the rainy season here, and it's no fun.
No, it's not fun.
You're on the coast, so yeah, you get all of that stuff that comes in from the ocean. Annette McCoy is here. Hi, Annette. She's over in, I believe, Annette, you're in Australia. I could be wrong, but it sure is good to see your name pop in here. Charles says we are all waking up. I know, right?
Yes, we are.
This is your alarm clock in the mornings. It's morning Cuppa Joy.
And a good way to do it too. I love coming in here because everybody you can just feel the energy. Everybody's love, and it just starts your day right. It
does. I know. Even if I'm sluggish, and I've been like taking my time, making the coffee, I do my chanting now before I even get out of bed. I'm like, okay, now I'm running a bit behind. So, but then I come on here and it's like, wow, that instant boost of adrenaline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's nice.
Stacy said she's bummed that she wanted to see me also. I know, Stacy.
Oh.
Just have to drive to Orlando, I guess, once I get out of this stuff. And let's see, who else we got? Oh,
Sharon says she says she likes my sunny kitchen.
I do too.
I get a lot of sun in the morning.
Yeah, and Prachetta is sharing that the first Bollywood family have been hit by COVID. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan and the most popular actor of Indian cinema, his son, daughter-in-law, Aishwarya Rai, and granddaughter, we're all COVID positive. So sorry to hear that. And had a phone call from my brother, one of my brothers last night, and one of his friends that he sees her pretty much every day, her whole family, it has tested positive for COVID, the entire family.
Wow.
Yeah, she's just devastated right now. So,
yeah, my daughter's family was all tested within like the last, I guess, week or so, and everybody tested negative.
Good. Oh, Carol, it was such a relief. I actually, I think, was holding my breath before I got my test results at the hospital. Like, please tell me it's not COVID, because it was all the symptoms. What they're finding out now are the new symptoms of COVID. But even the doctor says, you can be negative one day and positive the next. So there's no guarantee, but at least for the moment, I can rest, in the fact that it tested
Right.
negative.
The one thing that they did find out, they also did the whole family, they tested all of them for antibodies. And my grandson, Luke, he's 7, he's one of the 2 twins, and his antibodies were very strong. And we had suspected that he had something very different well, he was very sick in February. And the doctors at that time said, no, it's an autoimmune disorder, very rare, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And as soon as we started seeing other children with positive COVID symptoms, we were like, that was Luke. That was Luke. So now we know he really did have COVID. And the amazing thing was, him and his twin brother sleep in the same bed. Rylan didn't get it. None of the rest of the family got it. And that, to me, that's a miracle.
It is a miracle. Yeah. The angels were watching out there.
They really were.
Yeah. I feel like I've been around a lot of people. When I was up visiting my family back in December, so many people were sick. And my niece especially, she had gone to the hospital because she was so sick. And then after I got home, I was in bed for a week. And COVID wasn't even a thing then. It wasn't even something that had been talked about. But I was sick for that whole week after I got home, and several people in the family were sick. So who knows?
Yeah,
we could have had it, and our bodies fought it off. And that's the thing right now, is there's nothing to fight against it, just your immune system. And my immune system has been compromised for 45 years now since my kidney transplant. So, and then with cancer last year. So it's like, those of us that have that weakened immune system, it's difficult to fight stuff off. And I found that this week with that stomach flu that I had, it's dragging out and taking its time to die off. It's like, get out of me. But I'm doing everything that I know to do, and doing what the doctor said, pushing the fluids and getting the rest. And I'm so tired of being in bed. That's what I found out yesterday. I'm like, I'm not going to lay there all day today. I'm feeling a little better. So I got up and moved around, did the dishes, that type of thing. So, so I think the more that we are aware that we can have that mind over matter sometimes, and say, all right, I'm feeling better every day, and start doing those mantras. I am healthy. I am healthy. My body is healing. It really does work.
Those affirmations, where you tell yourself, I'm fine. I feel good. I'm beautiful. All that. That all helps.
Absolutely. It really does. Oh, what else we got? I saw Sally's comment that you and Jordan need to connect. I think that would be awesome. I don't know if you're friends on Facebook.
We are. Well, I don't know that I'm friends with Jordan. I'll have to friend Jordan. I know I am with Sally and Tony, and I always see Jordan's things that she posts either in Zenlightenment or on Angelic River Family. So yeah, I'll have to. If I'm not, I'll have to friend her so that I can see her stuff.
Absolutely. And she does those videos showing the process. It's like showing us how from point A to point B, you get to this beautiful painting. And I love that you do that, Jordan. You're just amazing and beautiful to share that information with us and share your talent with us. So thank you.
I love what she's doing.
Yeah, me too. And Stacy said, I was dreaming all night that I was getting tested for COVID. It was a very odd dream. It is.
Huh.
And she's sure that her son came back from his senior trip in March with it, but they wouldn't test. He was so sick. Yeah, March was when they were just starting to
Right.
acknowledge that there was something going on. You know, it's like then the whole world knew about COVID and coronavirus. But before that point, it was like, nah, you know.
And that was Luke. Luke's always had kind of a compromised immune system. He was the youngest of the twins. They were both born premature. And he's always had some issues. He's always been a little more susceptible to everything. And he was so sick. And I remember Laura saying, Mom, I just should have taken him to the hospital. Should have taken him to the hospital. And I said to her, Laura, stop beating yourself up. Nobody knew about COVID back in February. You know, it wouldn't have changed the outcome, probably, because they wouldn't have known any different treatment to treat him with. They did everything that they knew how. He survived, you know, so just accept that and let it go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, when I was sick, when I came back from Kentucky and I was so sick, after about 3 days of laying there, what I felt was like dying, I did call my doctor. And at this point, like I said, it wasn't even a thing. So I went in and she goes, well, it's not bronchitis. I don't know what it is. So she gave me some antibiotics, and I don't do well with antibiotics. They're usually like really, I have a bad reaction to them. But whatever she gave me, I can't remember what it was. I took it for the time I was supposed to take it, and I was still just as sick as before I took it. So it didn't even touch whatever was going on. So I'm pretty convinced that that was what it was. And Sally says she's 95% sure that she had it in February.
Oh,
and
wow.
She's her inhaler this weekend. Yeah, I think there's a lot of us now that are realizing that whatever was going on with our bodies during that time, that it probably was a form of the COVID, you know, beginning to come out and get into everybody's bodies.
Yeah.
Do you see Prachetta's comment? It's under
But I was just saying, I think it's Prachetta. Both Prachir and I would like to extend heartfelt gratitude to Linda Lemieux, ma'am, for helping us out in finding our mom's favorite scarf. On Saturday, Monday morning, India time, Prachetta could not find it. Sorry, this is long and I keep losing it.
It's okay.
We immediately contacted Linda, ma'am, and she spotted it in minutes, and we found the scarf. Don't have words enough to thank Linda, ma'am. And I can attest to Linda's powers too. She had helped me find some very important papers that I needed, and she told me exactly where it was. It's amazing. So thank you, Linda.
It really is. And Linda, I feel like your powers are getting stronger. I've known this about Linda for a while now, pretty much ever since I've known her over the last years. And she has just an amazing gift that she's open to, and that she's allowing to come out stronger and stronger to be able to help people. And Linda, I don't know if it's still your desire, but she has found animals. She's found things that people have misplaced. And when I first met Linda and we talked about this, one of her desires was to help find people that were missing.
Wow.
And I think that would be absolutely such a gift to the world to be able to do that.
That truly would.
Yeah. So thank you, Linda, for all you do and all you share of that gift with all of us. Really appreciated. She's helped friends of mine, and we have a friend right now that's she's in Kenya. She's been there since before coronavirus locked everybody down, and now she needs to come back to New York, and she can't find her passport. So Linda's on it.
That's an important thing.
I immediately contacted Linda, and I'm going, can you please help her find her passport?
That would have me terrified. I just can't even imagine. Oh.
Yeah, I've lost important papers before, and it's like, where do you start? You just don't even know how to begin to search for something like that, and especially a passport, because it's not that big, so it wouldn't be sticking out somewhere.
Right, right. And Stacy says, they said, just assume he has COVID, keep him in bed and hydrate him.
Yeah, that's when I was talking to my brother and he was telling me about the whole family that has it. I said, what are they doing? Because there's nothing they can do.
Yeah.
Just rest, hydrate, do all the things that you would do to try to get your body back to health again. And Carrie says, the doors are wide open now. Of course, we must be safe at this time. But if you're worried about getting the virus 24/7, if that's what's on your mind, you'll bring it right to you.
Right.
Yeah, that's how we manifest, isn't it, Carol? We put our energy into something and it appears. So we want to put our energy into good health and knowing that we are protected and we are safe, feeling into that safety inside of us.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I wasn't quite sure how the manifestation thing worked. And I got a pretty quick lesson this week. I had been thinking about somebody that I had worked for many years ago, back in I was just out of college. It was actually my first real job. And I had a really great supervisor. And he was not much older than me. In fact, we actually might have been exactly around the same age, and he was kind of like a mentor and everything. And for some reason, he popped into my mind, during the week, and I thought, I wonder if he's on Facebook. So I searched on Facebook, and I didn't see him. So I thought, you know what? I know where he was last. He was in Nashville, Tennessee. So I could put his name in Nashville and see if it pops up. Only one Chuck came up, with his last name. And so this person was at a college in Tennessee. And I thought, I don't know. Why not? So I sent this guy an email.
Yeah.
I'd say not even 10 minutes later, I got an email back. Carol, yes, it's me. And I assume that is manifestation. I wanted to talk to him, and it happened, but it just astounded me at how quickly.
Yes.
And yes. It was just amazing, to reconnect that fast just because I wanted it to happen.
Because you wanted it. You put that, I can follow Abraham, the channelings of Abraham through Esther Hicks. But Abraham calls it the rockets of desire. So we put out that energy and it goes up like a rocket to the universe, and whatever that is, and this is the thing about manifesting, whatever that is that you put out there, it's going to come back. So if you are putting out something along the negative line, then you're going to get more of that. And it's like, be careful with the wording also, because if you are focused on one thing, it's like the subject of a sentence, right? That's what goes out. So if you say, I don't want the virus, the subject of that is virus. So you're focused on that. So instead of focusing on what you don't want, focus on what you do want, just like what you did. And yes, that is exactly what happened. You put that energy out, I want this, and it came back to you. And that's exactly how the law of attraction works. Just how we manifest, holding it in your heart, knowing that that's what you want, and just keep that energy alive, keep it going out there. That's what I want.
Yeah, it just was amazing how quickly it happened, because I was like, some guy I'd probably write back like, no, I'm not who you think, and I never heard of him or of you. And it just happened. It was amazing. Just amazing.
Carrie says some of the best things are in Tennessee. That's where she is.
I've never been there. I've always wanted to go there. My daughter keeps asking me, "When are we going to Tennessee? I want to go to Nashville." I'm like, "Not right now."
Yeah. Carrie is there. I've been to her cracker box. Yeah. She's just an amazing person. And she's one of the best things in Tennessee. And she says, "Come on."
Oh.
I'll meet you halfway, Carol.
Yeah, there we go.
Then you come from Maryland, and let's go see Carrie.
And then we can go over. Yeah. Oh, I got to meet Geraldine, so she was really neat. That was really cool. So I'm sure she sends her love to everybody.
I'm so glad.
That was neat.
Yeah.
She was up here studying this week, so.
Right. Okay, we had Jean Lorio that came in. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Jean.
And Lillian from Norway is saying hello.
Oh, hi, Lillian.
You. And Stacy says she loves Nashville and Knoxville. I grew up close to Knoxville because it's not that far from the little town I grew up in Kentucky. And some of my family actually gravitated to Knoxville out of Kentucky.
I bet Kentucky's really nice too. The only time that I ever was in Kentucky was in the airport.
Was it Lexington or Louisville?
It was Louisville.
Yeah, that's a bigger one than Lexington. I remember, I don't know how much they built it up now, but I remember years ago when I flew into Lexington, we had to get off on the tarmac and walk to the airport.
Oh, wow. To the terminal. Yeah.
And it was cold. It was wintertime. I was like freezing. Like, what do you mean I have to walk to the terminal?
I remember those days.
Not anymore, though, I don't think. Everything's more security conscious now. So
Sure seems that way.
You're under the lights now, under the cameras, so that they can keep track of everything. Okay, so who else we got? And what else we got going on? Oh, Carrie says you've got a place to stay. Okay.
Hey, that sounds good. Stacy said she went to Louisville for a basketball tournament with her older son.
Yes, basketball is the thing in Kentucky, Carol. You can't live in Kentucky and not be into basketball. It's a rule. It's a rule there.
That I believe. I have a online friend, and he was from Louisville, and I think he actually returned there recently. And he traveled all over. He spent several years up in Dutch Harbor, Alaska. And he would do these blogs, and they were so neat because he was a photographer. So he, in his free time, and he would take pictures of just beautiful, sea and landscape and the foxes and everything. And then he moved down to Phoenix, and he did the same thing. But he was this huge basketball fan. So every year at March Madness, he would get this big pool together, and we'd all, all of us that followed his blog, we would all make our own, what do they call it? I can't think of what it's called. Brackets. And we'd see who would win.
Yeah, done that too. So my secret's out. I'm a basketball fanatic. We have two big colleges in Kentucky. And one of them is the University of Kentucky, and one is Kentucky University. So one's in Lexington and one's in Louisville, and they have been arch rivals forever, ever since they've been in existence, I think. Well, I went to University of Kentucky, and we are the Wildcats, and they held the streak of winnings like forever, for so many years. And the really famous coach that was there was Coach Adolph Rupp. And I was at his last game that he coached there at University of Kentucky. And they brought in all of the players that had played under him that had gone pro and were big names in basketball. Some of them, huge they turned into coaches and coached, with winning streaks. So that was an amazing tradition to be there at that college and really, see the whole, the atmosphere of everybody. I mean, those games, when you went to a live game there, it was wild. It was just insane with all of the noise and the cheering and, cheering on the players. And so I love the whole energy of basketball. And I understand basketball. I have never understood football. Never. I don't even try anymore. I'm like, I don't know what the heck they're doing. They're running up and down the field and I have no clue what's going on.
I've never been a big sports fanatic at all. I used to like football. I did understand, the rules of football, and I liked football. One of the places I worked, I was the only female with 30 guys. Mm-hmm. And at first they were like, oh, we don't want her here. They were very working collar men, and because that's what they did. They worked outside, they took care of maintenance and whatever. And they were like, why do we need her? Yeah.
Right.
And they were so funny, but when football season came, they were into football pools and everything. And so I learned a lot about football from them. It was funny.
Yeah, you absorbed it.
I did. I had to.
Yeah, I thought I could too. I dated a football player in high school, but I never understood what he was doing. I knew when he got hurt. I knew that wasn't good. But I had no clue what anything that was happening with it. So I just gave up. Oh my God. Y'all do your thing. I just don't get what you're doing. All right, so we got more comments. Stacy said she loves basketball. Yeah, I do too. It's just fun. It's a fun sport and it's easy to understand. And Carrie was saying that Kentucky has many portals. Fort Knox is there, gold reserves. Yep, not very far from where I grew up.
Wow.
And gold conducts electricity. Yeah, it does. It's a huge energy, and also being there in that area, the mountains also send out an energy. So can you imagine having all of these vaults of gold and then the mountains surrounding it and what that energy is like? Yeah, it's huge.
Huh.
And what else?
Stacy says they love basketball too. And Kalish says Luna was enjoying yesterday, or I guess that's Pachetta. And her I keep seeing that, not the usual name.
I know. Yeah, I saw some of those pictures of Luna getting into everything yesterday at Grandma's. I wanted to see that little baby so bad.
I know.
Well, Stacy, you can still come and stand on my front door at my front door and just show me through the window. I'll have to bribe her with something. Okay, so I did put in that it's prayer request time. Excuse me.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? The time's going fast.
Doesn't it go fast, Carol?
It does. I thought, oh, wow.
Every morning on here, this is what happens. All of a sudden I look at the clock and I'm like, what? What do you mean our hour's almost up? But I did put that in, and Prachetta had asked how my friend Shantae is doing. I talked to Shantae last night, and they figured out that they did a spinal tap, and they figured out she has spinal meningitis, viral meningitis, and she got bit by mosquitoes when she was out on July 4th. And she's in California, which is huge out there for the West Nile virus. So she's going to have they're putting a port in. They're going to be treating her for 3 weeks.
Wow.
To get this out of her system. Yeah, so it's not good. And if anybody can send her encouragement, send her love, and she she's pretty sure they're going to let her go home to do the treatments at home instead of keeping her in the hospital for 3 weeks. So if anybody has sent her cards, which I've already mailed out one, she said they can forward it to her at home. So don't worry if you sent out a card. I know that some people had posted, Deirdre, you'd posted that you'd sent a card already. Don't worry that she won't get it, because she'll make sure that they send them to her at home. And then I will check with her. I'm pretty sure she'll give the okay for us to send her some cards and encouragement to her home. But let's keep her lifted up for sure.
Right. Yeah, when you first said what her symptoms were, that was the first thing that came to my mind was meningitis, either bacterial or viral.
Yeah, that's it. And so scary. And I was talking to Karen last night when we were doing the chanting, and she goes, well, I got bit by mosquitoes just recently, but she doesn't have any kind of symptoms. And I'm going, well, you know, the angels have her so wrapped up and protected. I don't think those mosquitoes are going to get to her. But just for anybody that, especially if you're living out west, it's more prevalent out west than it is here on the East Coast. Just be safe and pay attention if you do get bit. Mosquitoes always seem to find me, Carol. I don't know about you, but if there's one mosquito around, it's going to come to me. I don't know what that draw is, but
I don't either. I think they said something about blood types, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I know I get bit a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's like there's a flashing neon sign. It's like, good blood over here.
Carrie says she needs a prayer request for guidance. I need a job or ability to meet obligations.
God, sweetheart, we are lifting you up for that every day. And I saw Stacy say that today is Josh's first birthday at home since he's 4. He's 19 today.
Aww.
Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday.
you, Josh.
Sharon Boyle, gold.
Oh yeah, there's lots of gold in them there heels. And they are under severe lock and key. You don't even want to try to steal that gold.
I'm sure.
Oh, Jean Loria says, my college's claim to fame is we beat Kentucky in 1966 for the NCAA champion. How dare you? Yeah, Kentucky's a tough rival. You know, they've gone through a lot over the years because they had to live up to that legacy. You know, they were always the champions. And so they've come up against some real challenges to overcome that, always that have that pressure to have to succeed and have to be the best.
I know our Maryland women's team has dominated the NCAA tournament. I don't know, I guess the last 4 or 5 years. And I think last year they lost, and then this year, I don't, obviously everything got canceled, but I know our women's University of Maryland, they're a good team.
Yes, they are. Carrie says, check out Edgar Casey. His institute is located in Kentucky. He was a psychic and intuitive. Yeah, absolutely. And Carrie, I don't know if you paid any attention to a man named David Wilcock, but many believe that he is the reincarnation of Edgar Casey. He has the same look. He has the same ability to really tap into energy. And he was on Gaia for a long time, and I think they had a falling out, but he's on YouTube. So you can check out, it's David Wilcock, and amazing stuff that comes out of him as well. Okay, what other prayer requests? Because we're into our prayer time.
All right, so Prachetta says, special prayers for Shantae to be healthy. Good, happy prayers for Prachir, Tracy, David, Neil, Anika, and Vanya. Prayers for Terry Man. Good health, prayers for Claire's son, Charlie, Wendy, and Tony.
Thank you. They always have such compassion, and you can feel it in their prayer requests. Thank you. Sharon wants to know if that little painting behind you is where the sun is.
Okay, so I have to tell you what that is. You can't really see it very well, but after my husband passed away 2 years ago, my stepdaughter, his youngest child, at Christmas time sent me a painting, and it's an orange background, and I don't know, maybe I can actually try to get to it.
There it is.
So she made a butterfly, and the butterfly is made out of the lung cancer ribbon, which is white and gray. And then underneath of it, she said, "Just breathe."
Oh, I love that.
And so I cherish that. Yeah, it was a very thoughtful gift that she had made for me. She was down here when my husband was in hospice. As soon as she knew that he was coming home to be here, she drove down and she stayed with me the whole time. And it was a very special time. I have a very special place in my heart for her and all my stepchildren.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's neat. I like that. Yeah, I look at it every day and just go, yeah, you need to breathe.
Yeah, it has great energy because I know it was catching my eye as well. So thank you, Sharon, for asking the question and pointing that out.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon.
We have Hope with us this morning, and she says, "Good afternoon, ladies. Please pray for healing for my feet." Sure will. And Catherine Kovacs is asking for prayers for her mom and for herself and Michael. And Sharon is asking Carrie if she sings. Carrie is interesting. I was going through some photos on my phone yesterday, and I came across pictures from where I was up there and met you, and you had taken us to a jam session at a friend's house. I have pictures of Carrie playing the guitar. So Carrie, I may have to send those to you so you can share them on Facebook for all of us.
Aww.
And Stacy asked prayers for her for personal matters that she's dealing with. Absolutely. And Sally
is asking, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Bree.
Sally's asking for prayers that the issues with my lungs ease up soon.
Yes, absolutely. Jean Lorio, prayers that we all see and love each other as the spiritual souls we are, all children of God.
Oh, and Sally says, "That's beautiful, Carol. I love the whole sentiment behind it." Yeah, I did too. It was really a special gift.
It really is. Lily Ann asked for prayers for her family in Sweden and for the things that she's going through with herself and her sick mom. Prayers for all of you and for peace on earth.
Peace on earth.
Of course.
Patricia says,
there's Deirdre. Go ahead.
Says it's so wonderful, so thoughtful about the painting.
Yes, it really is very thoughtful. So our Deirdre is the one that always asks for world peace, of course.
Of course, right?
For everyone here.
Everybody's asking for that one today. Mary Ann Malone Cindy says prayers for peace and divine guidance also.
Carrie says, the thing I'm working on most is seeing the presence of God in me and acknowledging the presence of God in others. Absolutely. And yes, Carrie, we did have a blast when I was up there with you. I think we need a couple of weeks to hang out next time I come up. There's so much to do with her. And Jordan's asking prayers that she's able to pull off the commission job. Oh, you got it. I feel that. I feel that you have that, honey.
You can do it. I have no doubt.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll be able to paint for a living, she asks. And yes, you are that good. You have that much talent. And just put, like we were saying earlier, manifest it. Put that intention out and manifest it.
Right.
Yeah. And Sharon says, because I had such major spiritual tingles there, Carol. I think that was your husband coming through. So,
He's been around lately.
oh, yeah. He's been giving you some of those signs, hasn't he?
A lot of signs lately.
Yeah.
A lot of signs.
I saw my friend Marietta come in. She's a lady that I met down in the Keys. And she gave me a gift while I was there, this beautiful heart. She makes hearts out of wood and paints them. And then she'll paint sayings on them. And on mine that she gave me, she put little twinkly lights all around the rim of the heart. So I hung it in my window last night after it got dark, and I went outside and took a picture. I'll post it in the group today with it lit up, and you see on the outside, you see just the lights on this heart. So beautiful and such energy. And she's the one that taught me accept, align, allow, which I love that little song. And Marietta, if you're still with us, I just want to share that last night after the chanting, I was talking with Karen, and we were discussing how we can handle some of life's challenges. And I reminded her about that little song. And so she started singing right there on the Zoom while we were just chatting. And it does change your energy immediately when you do accept, align, allow, and go into that energy of whatever it is, whatever is going on, whatever challenge. I'm going to be able to accept this. I'm going to align with who I truly am in my heart, my God self, and then just allow everybody to be who they are. Kind of like what Carrie was saying, allow us to see the God in each other and see that spark of the divine. So I'm forever grateful to you, Marietta. And she says, let your heart light shine. Absolutely. And I just want to share that it was such a blessing to meet this lady. And she's like a real hero, a heroine down in the Keys. She shares her love with so many people, and those hearts are everywhere. If you ever go to Key Largo and Isla Morada down in the Keys, you're going to see her hearts hanging all over the place on businesses and homes, and she lights up the world. And that's Marietta. I'm so grateful to you, and thank you for coming into my life and being the blessing that you are. So with that uplifting energy, let's go ahead and do our meditation. We'll do a short meditation and prayer this morning. And she, she's so beautiful. And Carrie says, I feel some lyrics coming on like an Angelic River family theme song.
I think she's probably right.
Yeah, I think so. And I think if we all can adapt or adopt that accept, align, allow, that's going to change a lot of the energy for us individually and collectively. So let's do it. All right. So let's go into our heart center. We know that that's where our soul resides. It's right up here in our high heart, just above our physical heart. And let's see that. Let's see these bright lights that are shining out right now, shining for the whole world to see us like lighthouses. We're all gathering our energy together as we do every morning here on this show. And we're lifting each other up. We're sharing the joys of our triumphs. We're sharing the burdens of our prayers. We're sharing from our heart center and coming from a place of love. So as you breathe in to this heart center, let it start opening up. See the energy start to become brighter. Just like you flipped on the light switch, just let that light come from you. Let it go out from your own human self and shine with your spiritual energy out into the world. Be that light that someone may need today. Someone might need a smile. They might need a kind word. And this is how we shine that light. We shine with compassion. We shine with wanting the very best for each person that's going through this human experience. So let's go into that compassionate heart. Let's invite in Kuan Yin, who is the ascended master of love and compassion. And we ask Kuan Yin right now to touch all of our hearts, to fill us full inside of us with that compassionate feeling of just wanting everyone to see each other in our spiritual selves, to not see any separation, not see any division, to really know that bonding together in the oneness is how we bring about peace on earth. When we can lose all of our criticism and lose all of our judgment and seeing that we're different because we're not different. Our human bodies don't look the same as everyone else's, but our spirit does. Our spirit is the same spark of the divine. So we're asking for Kuan Yin to illuminate that energy within each of us, to help us really go forward today as we do every day, and share that love with each other, and to don't look at things as flaws, don't look at any imperfection, but to look more at the perfection that's inside of us. When we can see everything that's going on and still love each other, then we have come to a place where we are closer to God and closer to source energy that loves us unconditionally. That's what unconditional love is. It doesn't matter what we have done in our human bodies. What matters is our heart. And in our heart center, we are all connected. We are all perfect. So to see the perfection in others, go into that perfect heart inside of you. And that's what we do with the breath. That's how we connect to source energy. Whatever you call it, I call it God. So when we connect with that energy, we receive that love. We receive unconditional love. So breathe that in right now. Breathe in the unconditional love coming to us from God and opening us up, opening our spiritual eyes to who we really are, opening up and letting the angels shine all around us, that love and that care and that concern and that healing energy that they can bring forth. And take another deep breath in. And as that light starts growing and glowing brighter and shining out, let it shine first of all around you. Feel that white light totally surrounding your body. Feel the energy of it expanding out, going from you to each person, starting with where you are. See your neighborhood where you live. Be surrounded by this white light. And let's say together, let there be peace in my neighborhood, and let it begin with me. And now see it expand out even further to the country that you live in, wherever that may be. Just see it totally immersed in white light. And let's say again, let there be peace in my country, in my nation, and let it begin with me. And then let's expand it out even further. Let's connect every nation in our world, all of us here on Mother Gaia. Let's see the whole world surrounded with white light, immersed in God's loving, unconditional love. And let's all say with intention, let there be peace on earth. And let it begin with me, inside of me, this little flame, this little light that can ignite into a beautiful spotlight, a lighthouse, shining that light out over the world to every inhabitant, every human being, every animal, every plant, every tree, all the waterways. Let's shine that light out on Mother Gaia. And let's send energy down into the middle of Mother Gaia, down to that beautiful crystal center, giving that energy of love to each crystal that's there, that it may be rejuvenated, recharged with love, because that energy comes up through our earth. As we step on Mother Gaia's back, we feel the crystal energy. So let's ask that all of that crystalline energy coming up from Mother Gaia right now be exploded with love, that everyone who feels it will know immediately that they are loved, that they are seen and acknowledged and heard, that they're important, and that all lives matter that are here on this earth. Just feel that love as it comes up from Mother Gaia. Hold it in your heart. And as you're holding that unconditional love, let's share that with all of these burdens that we brought forth today, all these prayer requests. See each person in their perfection. See that perfect light inside of their heart, and let's connect to it. Let's do a grid of energy around each person that's sitting in the middle of our circle, and then see that grid expand out to each one of us, all of our lights connected from our heart center. What a beautiful image to sit here all lit up with our heart light shining. And let's ask of the angels to help us to disconnect from any of these burdens that we brought forth, to not be worried and not be anxious about any of the outcome from all these prayer requests, but to give them over with faith and with confidence that they're being seen, they're being acknowledged, they're receiving the love coming up from Mother Gaia, and they're receiving the unconditional love coming down from God's source energy. And with our faith, our trust, and our belief, we let those prayers go. We let each person that's been placed here today just be under the beautiful umbrella with all of that white light shining on them. All of God's energy pouring right into these prayer requests. And we lift that up to the universe, and we take our heart center and fill it with even more love, because we have faith that prayers are being answered, not the way we would see them answered, because we don't know the whole story. We don't know the big picture. But we're trusting that God is answering each prayer to its perfection. And we give gratitude. Let's have a heart full of gratitude right now. Gratitude for each other, gratitude for source energy, gratitude for the angels, and gratitude for all of those that were placed in the prayer circle. And thank you to all of you who joined in with this prayer. And now let's share it with each other. Let's do our heart telephone, as our beautiful Deirdre has termed this time together. Just pick one person that's gathered here, and you don't have to know them. You don't have to know what they look like. Just hold them in your mind's eye and say to that person with passion, I love you.
I love you.
That is such a good feeling to hear those words, isn't it, Carol?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that feels so good. I just want to hold on to that energy, but I know that what we have in our heart right now, we're going to send it out, because when we send it out, it's going to come back. It's going to be magnified, and it's going to be so beautiful in our hearts. So Carol, would you like to do our countdown, and then we'll give gratitude and love to everyone, all of us together.
3, 2, one. Thank you. I love you.
You. I love you. Sending big heart hugs to everybody. Oh, you all are so beautiful. Carol, you're so beautiful. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for sharing of yourself and letting us see you, your beautiful home, the energy that's surrounding you and coming from your heart. I loved this. I loved having you on today.
It was very nice. I enjoyed it a lot. I wasn't even nervous.
You felt so at peace. That was what I loved. It's like from the minute we connected on Zoom to do the show, it was like, wow, this is a lot of really peaceful energy that I was getting from you. So thank you.
And I didn't even have time to chant this morning. I'm going to do that after we get off.
Sharon Boyle says she played her heart bowl for a little bit near the end of our prayer today.
Good.
Wonderful. Thank you, Sharon, for doing that. And thank you all for those beautiful words of love that you're putting in and the hearts that you're sharing with us. We have a lot of things going on here today at Enlightened World Network. And at 10 o'clock this morning, we do a silent meditation where for about 20 minutes or so, we just sit in silence. And then behind the scenes, Dr. Ruth Anderson, who is the founder of Enlightened World, and Deb Goldberg and myself, we sit together and just see what comes forth from Spirit for us to share with you. So we hope you can join in for that time together. And then we're doing something new today at 11 o'clock. Carol, I don't know if you've heard yet. We're doing Mimi's Diner. And we're just going to talk about feeding our mind, body, and soul and what that might look like. So this was an idea that came about from our latest get together when Ruth and Deb were here in Florida. And we were sitting in a little diner. I was getting ready to say goodbye to them, send them off to the airport. And the idea just came through so quickly, and all of us resonated with it. So we're going to sit around a diner today at 11 o'clock and have some discussions. So I hope you all can join us with that.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a great one.
I know. I'm excited about it. We don't have a script. We don't have an agenda. We're just going to sit and talk. So I hope that many of you will come in and interact with us as we have that conversation. I think it's an important conversation that needs to be had right now, especially with looking at how we can take more care of our bodies, especially, the nutrition that we're putting into them.
Right.
And I saw Lauren Riley come in. She is, I think, our Monday. I don't know where my planner went. It was right in front of me. Oh, it is. I believe that she's tomorrow. Let me just check that. Yes, Lauren Riley is going to be on Zoom with me tomorrow. So I'm so excited about that, Lauren. And thank you for volunteering and for stepping up for that. And then next week on Tuesday, Navriti is coming on to teach us about mudras and saris. And so I'm excited about learning more about that. Jean Lorio is coming on Wednesday.
Oh, yay.
We have Sally and Tony back on Friday. Now, I don't have anybody for Thursday. If somebody wants to step up, let me know. I would love to have you on here with me and let us get to know your energy. It makes such a difference, Carol, when we see you now with your name making comments. We can put that beautiful energy to that name and know what you're like. You're just so beautiful. I love the smile. And you'd ask, what do I need to know to be on the show? And I said, you just come on and smile. That's it. Okay.
Something I never used to do.
I know, me too, Carol. It makes such a difference, doesn't it?
It does. It truly does. I was always ashamed of my smile because I had a broken tooth for, like 30 years of my life. And it was my front tooth. And I always felt very self-conscious. So I would never smile. Right. And then over the years, I'm like, just smile.
Just smile. Yeah. Yes, it brightens you, and it also brightens everyone that sees that. Yeah. All right, so Carrie gave me a suggestion, so I'll reach out to this mutual friend and see if Arvin would like to join us on Thursday. Thank you for that, Carrie. And I did see Deirdre say our words that we end the show
Did she?
today. Yeah, there's a lot of comments, so we have to scroll up just a little bit.
Well, there are. All right. I see it.
You see it now?
Yes,
all right.
I do.
So, Deirdre, thank you for that tradition as well. I love that we do this every day. And Prachetta says, Carol, you have a beautiful smile. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And thank you all for your love and for your comments. And we are going to end the show with words from Deirdre. Carol.
Namaste, y'all.
I love all of you so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye.